Hello and welcome to the 2024 Formula 4 Saudi Arabia Championship certified by the FIA. My name is Aaron Thompson and I'm joined by Luca Felipe.
Hello everybody, hello from Kuwait.
Hey Luca. So guys, we're just about to start into race one of the first event of the inaugural season here at the Kuwait Motor Town. A most beautiful circuit, I must say, with a lot of wind today, so the temperature is just right. We're just about to start qualifying. Qualifying was scheduled to start at 3:20. We have about a 20-minute delay. And we're going to go down into pre-grid interviews just now.
Okay, Oscar, it's getting ready for the race, starting for P2. Just a quick question, Oscar. Are you going already from the first corner, try to get the win or not?
I'll try my best. It's all about the start. If I have a good start, then maybe I can get in the lead early on. But I just need to manage the tires, manage the race well, and hopefully come stand the top step of the podium.
So do you think there will be a place on the track where it's easier to overtake?
Yeah, well, probably the bigger braking zones. So turn 1, turn 2, the last corner. I don't want to say too much. Maybe the post is listening. So yeah, but I think yeah.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Don't share too much your secrets. Okay, let's go on in the grid.
Thank you
Suleiman,
very much.
Can we ask you just one question? So can you share with us which will be your strategy?
Allora la mia strategia sarà di avere una buona partenza, dopo di fare il massimo e superare questi due davanti me e fare il massimo e mai mollare e dare tutto.
Okay, thank you, Suleiman. So you're going out with the grid. So Sakir, really good forward position for you. What are your expectations for the first corner?
I'm not expecting much because I did not practice start from yesterday and today, so I'll just do my best and hope for the best.
Okay, good luck for your race. So going on the grid, let's go to take an interview to Kirill Kuskov. Really good quality, really consistent. He will be always in the top. So Kirill, can we just ask you one question? So you were not so happy about your quali, but actually you are really close to the podium. So which will be the minimum result are you going for?
Top 3, I would say. Like always pointing there. I'll do my best, try to be as much consistent as it will be possible, and we see how it goes.
Okay, thank you very much, Kirill. Good luck for your race. So let's go on. Let's go to hear some word from Hamda. Hello, Hamda. Can you ask you just one question? I know you're not super happy because of the lap time that were deleted for track limit. So which will be your strategy for the race, and what about the start? What do you think?
I think, we're really close to the top 5, so anything can happen. And yeah, we just need to have a really good start and keep with the guys in front. For sure, there is room for making some positions and having some good fights on track and just enjoying it.
Okay, thank you, Hamda. So keep going on the green. Let's go to Andre. The very first race for him is coming straight from the go-kart, and actually he was really consistent from the very first free practice. So Andre, how do you feel for your first start with the single-seater?
Great! I thought the qualifying was going to be a little bit better, but for first time to start 7th in such a strong field, I feel happy and I look forward to my first race.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Good luck for your race. So keep going on. Let's go to Omar. So Omar, after a really good race in Bahrain, here we are at the first race in this weekend. So what are your expectations for this race?
We're gonna win one of them. We're gonna push until we reach the front. Not slowing down until then.
Okay, really good, Omar. So good luck and enjoy the race. So keep going on. Let's go to Faisal. Faisal, I know you were not super happy with your quali, but actually you were missing a little bit of testing because you have other commitments. So what about your race pace? What are your expectations today?
I'm just expecting to try to keep up with the two guys that are in front of me. Try to stay close and stay competitive.
Okay, thank you very much, Faisal. So good luck for your race. So let's go on the grid, and we are going straight to Juancho. Is your first race with a single-seater, Juancho? You have been improving day by day. I know it's not easy driving on this track, but let's share with all the people that are following us which will be your target for this race.
Just do the best I can.
Okay, so enjoy your race, Juancho, and good luck. Let's go on to see Amna. Amna, so just a quick words about the race. What are your expectations? And let's tell us how you think you can improve your position at T1, or maybe there are other places where you will try to overtake people in front of you.
I think for me it will just be, I have a really good start and you can't make it in the first lap, so let's see how it goes.
Okay, thank you, Hamna. Really good luck for your race. Okay. Let's go on with the interview. So, last Albasi, brother, so which are your expectations for this race? So you were testing in Bahrain, you came here, you tested, and I think you like the car. Yeah. So what about the race? Which will be your target? Are you going to race your sister or not?
Probably not. She's too fast for me, but I just hope to finish where I'm starting right now on 13. And if I can bring it within the points, that'll be awesome. So.
Okay, thank you very much and good luck for your race. And from Switzerland, we have Laura that came to get a lot of experience in this car in testing, going day by day better and better. Today, the quality was not as good as you were expecting, so I hope you can improve in the race.
Yes, I'm gonna do my best to go over all the cars now. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun race.
Good luck, Laura. Thank you very much. Okay, all from my side, they just let us go. And now it's time to see a really wonderful race for the Formula 4 Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much, Marcello. It was fantastic to hear from all the drivers. And I think, Luca, I think the big question is, which race is Omar Alderani going to win?
He said all of them, but he's a fighter, so you know it's hard to say. He could be one of the underdog, I think, for race 2 and 3.
I think he's really going to get up there, and that car is a yellow flash as well. It's a beautiful creature. On to the grid now, then, or on to the formation lap, I should say. Leading us out is the number 10 car, the white car, Federico Al-Rafai. Federico, of course, driving for the UAE. Just behind him, Oscar Wirtz in the number 11 car. Those are the two teammates in white. And, of course, followed by the rest of the grid in the formation lap. Is this the formation lap or the sighting lap, Luca? Because they do 2 laps before the start of the race now.
Yeah, exactly. This is the reconnaissance lap. So from here, they will go to the grid. And once everybody is standing on the grid, they will have another full lap, which is going to be the formation lap. Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. So we're going to go into the circuit guide now. Luca, can you just talk us through everything? Like, talk us corner by corner. What exactly is going to happen?
So, I think one of the best circuit I've seen is this one from Kuwait. I was expecting a good place, but definitely is amazing.
It's a grade 1 track, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very fast section at the beginning of the race where you can take the slipstream and try an overtaking, and then a very, very twisty technical section here where changing direction and trying to get a rhythm, get a flow, and carry the speed through the corners. It's been very technical. And then extreme 19, you have to try and get the slipstream, and turn 20 is a potential overtaking spot.
Thank you very much, Luca. And all the cars are now completing their reconnaissance lap. Of course, they'll stop on the grid just briefly, and there'll be a 5-second board displayed. Then they'll go around one more time, and they'll stop on the grid for the final time. All 5 lights will go on, and as they extinguish, we will be on the way. So let's have a quick run through the starting order. As we've already said, the white cars are in the lead. Federico Al-Rafai on pole in the number 10, driving for the UAE, followed closely by Oscar Wirtz in the number 11. Driving for Australia. These two drivers had a fantastic time last outing in Bahrain. I believe that Oscar won 2 and Federico won 1, but they were definitely all on the podium. They're followed closely by Solomon Zanfari in the number 52 car, and of course on completing the second row of the grid is Sagar Al-Masraj driving for Kuwait. In position 5 we've got Kuskov Krill, and in position 6 Hamda Al-Kabaisi. They're followed by Andrei Petrovic and Omar Al-Duraini driving for Saudi. Faisal Al-Kamani and Jabor Al-Thani round up the top 10 positions, but Jabor's car is being driven today by Luca Allen as he cannot make the race. Juan Show joining us for the first time just out of go-karting and starting P11, followed closely by Amna Al-Kabaisi in the number 8 T8 purple car, and of course Abdullah Al-Kabaisi, Laura Villas and Abdulaziz Abu Zanada round out the end of the grid. And I have to point out once again, Luca, the top 5 are within 0.5 of a second. You've got 201.451, 201.615, 201.671, 201.867, 201.990, and guys, a lot of drivers got penalized for crossing the white lines, the track limits. So that really there was a lot more people up in the front of the grid, and hopefully we'll see in the races that reflected.
Yeah, and it's also a really long lap. So being a really long lap, that it means that having such a short gap between them, it's amazing, you know. From this point of view, it means that the level is going up high, and they are definitely on the same level. It's gonna be difficult for them to pull a gap in the race, but definitely they will try. But I also think that the start, if you start well, will be an advantage, but it's a circuit where you have opportunities to overtake.
So we've talked about it before, and we're going to have to talk about it again, Luca, because it's such an important topic. Tires. Of course, we only have 30-minute races here in Formula 4 Saudi. That's pretty standard for the Formula 4 category. The idea is to have as many race starts as possible in a race weekend, but 4 or 5 race starts plus qualifying plus free practice, that adds up to a lot of mileage that you end up putting on these tires, and you only get one new set and one used set for the weekend. The whole concept here, of course, training these young drivers to cope with all of the commentators' curse in Formula 1. So, Luca, what do they have to do on track now on their formation lap to warm themselves up and to really make sure that they can keep their tires going as long as they need to?
Yeah, so they have 2 complete sets, so it's 8 tires that they can manage in any way they want. And what happens is after qualifying, where you mostly use your new tires, we have seen somebody using both sets. But mostly once you know your starting position for the different races, you try and prioritize the races where you have a better starting position, so you try and use the best tires for those. And then from this point of view, you have to try and manage a little bit the life of the tire. So we also explain to the drivers how to manage through potentially an understeer balance or an oversteer balance, how not to put too much energy on the tire where it's not needed. So we try and teach them how to put energy when it's needed, like for example for warming up procedure and before qualifying or in a warm-up lap like they're doing now. But also when not, you have to put too much energy and you have to save a little bit the tire. But we have to say that towards race 3, race 4, we will also see if some drivers were saving tires better than others, and that will be, I guess, for tomorrow more of a potential extra topic.
Down in the pit lane, just briefly, we can see everybody watching the stream live as we are commentating live as the drivers come up into the start grid live. Have we got everybody with us? It certainly looks like they do. Everybody's lining up, 2 white cars, followed by an orange, a blue, and a blue again. That's the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, for everybody, one last time. Federico Alrafai, Oscar Wirtz, Solomon Zanfari, Sagar Al-Maserj, and Kutskov Krill. And I will go silent now for just a moment until the start of the race, so we don't miss any action. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, all lights are out and we are underway. Looks like a good getaway by the number 11 car of Oscar Wirtz. He seems to be up into first position as we come down into the corkscrew of 1A, 1B. We're crossing through now and I can see on track everybody seems to have gotten away very well. There's an orange car in second place, ladies and gentlemen, so it looks to me that Solomon Zanfari has managed to make his way up into second position as the number 10 car, Federico Alrafai, has fallen from pole down to third position and is struggling now against Kirill in the number 5, no, sorry, Sagar in the number 5 car, who looks to be doing Kuwait proud, coming down into corner 2. Up into corner 3 now, and down the crest into 4 and 5 as we come around into the big long left-hander of turn 6. Looks like the orange car of Solomon Zanfari is trying to make a move on. Is that a light blue car? Did Kutskov Krill get into second position ahead of Solomon Zanfari?
So Zanfari is still in P2, and then we have Wirtz trying to hold the position in P3. Federico had an okay start. He was able just to manage to keep the position. Zanfari looked really close to him, especially after the course through. But you know, when you are in front, you are looking in the mirror, then the pressure comes up, and the first lap is also potentially one of those situations where you may have an opportunity. So here we are going to turn 18. So staying very close to the car in front in 18 and 19 is crucial in order to try and get a slipstream before turn 20, which is the hard braking zone into the last corner.
Safety car. Do I see safety car? There's a big yellow notice on the timing screen. I'm not sure quite what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. There is a yellow board on our timing screens. There may be a safety car on track, but yes, I can see it lights. I can see the safety car lights illuminated on track at the moment. Crossing the line, we have Oscar Wirtz in first position, followed by Solomon Zanfari and Federico Alrafai. So there has been a change in order at the start of grid there. Federico, of course, starting on pole, dropping down to third position, and Sagar Al-Maserj challenging him throughout the lap. Unfortunately, now we have a safety car, and it seems like Abdulaziz Abu Zinada, driving the green number 99 car for Saudi Arabia, has had an incident at some point of the track. I can see the safety car coming down through the final corner now. So they will, of course, pick up the grid as soon as possible, but I cannot see on track where the green car has stopped. Let's get going again. There's a blue dot moving between turn 13 and 14 as we speak. I can't see him on track, though. Luca, have you managed to figure out where he is?
So, not for the moment, but, you know, let's hope that the track is clear, that he's able to maybe to rejoin, because in this case, if he didn't lose the lap, then he could even rejoin the back of the field without losing time. But definitely from our position we can see that the starting grid is clear, so he didn't have any problems at the start, but let's see how quick will be eventually the resume of the race. But it looked okay from the point of view of everybody slowing down when they've seen the safety car board. This is also one of the situations that it's very common to find nowadays in motor racing. So there is an accident, so there is a potential danger on track, and the safety car comes out. So we have all in this very high-tech modern circuit, these lighting panels all around the track showing SC, which means safety car. So you have your information, so you start to slow down. The drivers obviously cannot overtake each other, and it's one of those situations where we train them. We have been practicing it and explaining a lot about it. So it's good that everybody behaved nicely and they are following behind the safety car. And yeah, sometimes you also go through this procedure more than once just to make sure that when it happens, everybody knows how to do it. And yeah, the guys are doing a good job.
One of the advantages here in F4 Saudi Arabia is that we actually return laps on the safety car. So if, of course, permitting circuit schedule, if there is time, we will get back up to 3 laps to the race in order to compensate the drivers for any loss of track time on the safety car. And I'm sure that race control is working as hard as possible to clear the car from the grid, and as soon as possible we will be back to racing. I do see that the safety car board is still out, and of course the safety car lights still seem to be on. At which corner would the safety car lights go off if the car was going to come into the pit lane and we were going to resume racing?
So turn 16 is when the safety car will turn the light off in case of resuming, but there are basically 2 signs on when the safety car will resume. Normally the safety car start to pick up the pace a little bit, then when from turn 16 they turn the light off, then the leader then is allowed to make a bigger gap. So when the safety car has the light on, the leader has to be within 5 lengths of a car of a distance, so he has to pack and stay close in a short group. Then when the lights are off, the leader is allowed to leave whatever the gaps he wants. He can dictate the pace. So normally what you have to do is as a leader you try and slow down, compact the group, make sure the safety car is gone, so then you decide and you dictate when it's time to go flat out on power and try and make a bit of a elastic situation where you extend a little bit of the gap, and then you get to the last corner already pushing. So you try and don't have the guys on your toes when you restart the race. So apparently safety car is starting now to pick up the pace a little bit.
It does seem like it. Come turn 16 we'll know for sure as we come around the track now. We're just approaching the corner.
Let's see. For the moment we don't have yet any communication on the screen, but looks like he's picking up the pace. So
he may have been just given an instruction from race. These cars don't do very well going slowly, do they? They need to keep going. Looks like car number 99 is limping home. I can't tell exactly where he is. He may be being pulled. I'm sure we'll get an update from that as soon as possible from race control. In the meantime, Luca, for the safety car restart, how is it going to work? Are you allowed to make 2 movements? Are you allowed to come on and off the throttle, or do you just have to put the gas and go for it down into turn 1?
So we're talking about staying behind the safety car. Behind the safety car you can warm up the tires, you can accelerate and brake, you can do the weaving. It's all up to you. From this point of view, as we can see, everybody is still warming up the tires a little bit because we only had basically half a lap at full speed right before the safety car intervention. So all the drivers, they're trying to keep their tire pressure and temperature up, and once it's time to restart, it's also important to have your brake temperature hot enough, so when you arrive in the braking for the last corner, then you make sure it's all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunate news, it looks like we have a red flag, so that means that the cars will now have to come into the pit lane and everybody will stop in front of the pit boxes, and we'll figure out exactly what's going on. I'm sure this is because of whatever happened at the beginning of the race with the green number 99 car. I'm sure they're just trying to recover him as safely as possible. We saw him briefly a few moments ago, and we'll get in touch with race control and see what we can find out for you.
So, yeah, when there is a red flag situation, normally it can be something on the track that is not safe, or Sometimes it can be also a barrier on track that has been damaged or moved. So there has to be some time to repair something on track. So as we can see,
that's just out of turn 6, isn't it? That's turn 7, isn't it? Looks
yeah.
like they're on track repairing something.
So now we can see from the drone that there is a safety truck with a car that is
just on the exit of turn 7 there, as of course very carefully the safety car is bringing around the procession now.
So yeah, so safety car is slowing down, staying on the outside, everybody is staying left. So yeah, so they will take a little bit of time to clear the track.
As soon as they clear it, we can go racing again. So what does this mean now, Luca? We're going to come into the pit lane, stop I believe at the pit garages in the order that you arrive. Because we only did a half a lap, they don't have positions crossing the lap, which means they'll have to revert back to their starting positions.
So because we ran behind the safety car, that all the laps we did, they count.
Mm-hmm.
So it counts as green. So all the distance we already had, it should be legal basically. They should now stop the clock, mm-hmm. and then resume with the time that we have left. So from this point of view,
19 minutes, 18 minutes,
to go, and then we can, just in case they want, add the potential extra lap.
Mm-hmm. So there is, well, luckily for us, we're the last race of the day here, so with any luck we'll get to complete all 7 laps, and as soon as we know what's happening, we'll get right back to you. You can see the cars all coming down the back straight now, and they will enter they should enter the pit lane and stop in front of the pit garages. That, of course, because the cars can't stay on grid for a long time. You need to bring them into the pit lane and use the blowers. If you want to keep the engine on, you need to use the blowers to keep the car from overheating, and if you want to go to the start-finish line, then you need to bring all the jump batteries out there. So the best solution, ladies and gentlemen, is to bring the cars back to the pit garage, and when everything's cleared up on track, get racing again as soon as possible. You can see here the green car of 99 Abu Zenada racing for Saudi. This is what's happened on track. There's some kind of oil leak or something like that they're cleaning up. I'm sure as soon as possible they'll get everything going again. Into the pit lane now comes the procession led by Oscar Woods, Solomon Zanfari and Federico Al-Rafai. What does this mean for a restart then? Are we going to restart on the safety car, or will we? Is it back to the start line again?
So first of all, for sure, I mean they had to stop because of the liquids that they are on the asphalt on track, and the liquids just made the track wet and slippery, and also they have to get the recovery truck that can basically recover and with a crane and take the car back to the pits. Now all the cars, they have to stop in the order, in the fast lane, in the order that they were behind the safety car, and the race director has the choice, but I expect the race director to restart the race behind the safety car as soon as the track is clear. So looking at the situation, I'm afraid it will take at least 10-15 minutes, because you know it takes a bit of a time. We can see from here the truck with the crane moving to
to collect Abu Zenada in the green 99 car down at turn T7. As soon as we can do that, we'll get away. I imagine what happened is they tried to pull him out, and there was some kind of leak or something. It didn't want to damage the car, so they decided to bring in the crane. We can see on screen now, this is the Austrian of Oscar Wurz having a quick briefing session there with his engineer. I believe that's Laurent. Laurent, of course, joining us from a very experienced background for this weekend, and he seems to get along swimmingly with Oscar. They debrief in French, actually, even though Oscar is Austrian and Lauren is French himself. Beautiful shot here from the drone. You can see the grandstand. It really is a fantastic circuit. That's us right at the top there behind the grandstand, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're looking, and I am waving. Hopefully we'll get back underway as soon as possible. Quick message here from race control that the clock will keep going, as that's our allotted time, and we will do as many laps as we can once we get back underway, but with any luck from the motor racing gods, the circuit will let us go a little bit longer if possible. Looks as well like we might be restarting from the original grid positions, Luca. Got that message from race control as well, but I'm sure they're checking the regulations to see exactly what's the correct thing to do. On screen now we've got the orange car of Solomon Zanfari in 52. He, of course, fighting for second position. He started, ladies and gentlemen, he started the race in P3 and managed to get his way up into P2 as Federico Al-Rafai fell from pole position down into P3. I didn't quite see what happened at the start of the race. It was a little bit of a bad angle for it from straight on, but it looked to me like he didn't quite get away, and Oscar got a fantastic start, jumped himself up into first position, and Solomon just took advantage and managed to make it all work in his favor. So now, restarting, we're going to have Oscar Wirtz on the right-hand side of the track, Solomon Zanfari on the left-hand side of the track, and Federico Al-Rafai on the right-hand side of the track. Which is the better side of the track to start, coming down into turn 1, which of course is a left-hander here at the anti-clockwise Kuwait motor race track, motor town.
Yeah, so normally you prioritize the clean side of the track where everybody goes through in the racing line. So the clean side of the track is in this case the right hand side, because you come out of the last corner on the right and then you stay on the right for the first corner to turn left. So from this point of view, you know, you gotta have a good start in order to keep your position, because the pole position being on the clean side is also on the outside, and if the guy can have a run and put the nose on the inside, then you know it's a bit tricky to keep the position. So the point is having Oscar Wirtz in P1 after this amazing start. We just have to check what the race director decide, because like we discussed before, the race has been safety car before the end of the first lap. So if they don't count the first lap as completed, they are probably gonna revert the grid position to the original ones, which, you know, it's not what I thought, but definitely is the race direction looking at the regulation right now.
Well, that makes sense, and I'm sure race control, I mean, they've got 100 people in there watching every camera, so I'm sure they're going over everything line by line, and they'll make sure what's written in the regulations is done. You can see everybody lining up in grid positions now, and the message is, as it stands, to line up in original positions. So as Lucas said, we will go back to having Federico Al-Rafai at the front of the grid, followed by Oscar Wirtz and Solomon Zanfari. A very lucky day indeed for Federico Al-Rafai, even though if his luck is at the expense of Abdulaziz Abuzanada. I'm going to try to find out how long the delay is going to be, but it does, as Lucas said, we can still see the trucks working away down at the exit of turn 7, so it may be some time yet, and I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that you bear with us. On track, you can see the trucks now. They're going to have to lift the car up. Obviously, there's some damage to the gearbox or something like that, so it can't be moved under a towing rope as normal procedure would be, which is the correct decision from Kuwait Motor Town. Of course, they're an extremely experienced bunch of professionals here at Motor Town, and they're a Grade 1 circuit. What more do I need to say? And I'm sure very soon they're going to have F1 racing around here, and it'll be absolutely fantastic to see it, because it's a beautiful facility. And the first thing I saw when I came into the track, Luca, is that each pit box is air conditioned, and I've never been more grateful for such a feature in my entire life. As we can see now, the grandstand once again, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the yellow car of number 18, Omar Al-Walid Al-Durrani, being lined up into his original position. The original position, ladies and gentlemen, just for your knowledge, is of course P8, and well, we said at the beginning of the race, which race is Omar Al-Walid Al-Durrani going to win? And it looks to me like he still has a shot to win this first race of the season, the inaugural race, ladies and gentlemen, of the Formula 4 Saudi Arabia Championship. Coming to you live once again from the Kuwait Motor Town. I can see the drone outside, ladies and gentlemen. We're really getting some fantastic footage here from the film crew, and you can see on screen now that is Alessandro Moriana on the right-hand side of the screen. He's the driver coach, in fact, for Omar Al-Walid Al-Durrani. Interesting fact here, Luca. Alessandro was CIK World Champion in his day.
Yeah, so he was himself like a really good karting driver, so you know, being a driver yourself, it helps you also in the communication with your own driver. So here we see the recovery of the car. We just have the information that the driver is totally fine and okay out of the car. You can see the car is basically in one piece. The leak could come from sometimes it's more often from an impact from the floor of the car on a curb. This can happen. And in the case that by going on a curb you damage like a radiator or a pipe, then you might have, like in this case, a very big loss of fluid from an oil tank or water tank, depending on what fluids we're talking about.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. He's just coming back into the service road now, so that means we can get underway very soon indeed. As soon as the car is cleared from the track, the circuit will start procedures to get us underway again, and the car can be recovered back to the pit garage at a later time so that we don't delay any further. 9 minutes left to go, according to the timer, which would give us 3 or 4 laps, which would give us a total of 7 laps. So well, no, we'd have to go around to the start finish. That wouldn't work out. We need to find a solution here. I'm sure Race Control is working on it, exactly how we would continue and do what we can to get as many laps as possible in this race. On screen now, Federico Al Rafai driving for UAE in the white number 10 car. Lucky for him, he's back on pole position as things stand, and hopefully he'll be back at the front of the grid and he'll get a second chance to launch himself down into turn 1. Luca, did you see what happened at the beginning of the race? Did you see any mistake that he made and what he could do better for this next attempt?
So yeah, you know, I haven't noticed exactly what happened with his start, if he had a slow reaction time or if he had too much wheel spin. But being fair, if he gets his P1 back, then he will be lucky, let's say, you know, because definitely he had a mistake, and he would have lost the lead of the race, and if he does.
Yeah, it's true, and well, as we said, lucky for him, but here we go, get a second chance, and we'll see what we can do. What's going through Oscar Wurtz's mind here, because he's now been denied first position, and I don't know how he's going to be feeling about that, Luca.
Yes, big time, because you know, you try hard and you make an effort, and you come out of the first turn, and finally, you know, you say, okay, I made it, and you are in P1, and suddenly you know, safety car comes out, and you know, it's not ideal because it's pushing extra pressure.
And here we are, Luca. We're just about to have a replay of the start. We talked enough about it, so they're going to give it to us. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the start of the inaugural race of the 2024, the inaugural season of Formula 4 Saudi Arabia. First lights on, second lights on, third lights on, fourth lights on, all 5 lights are on, and as they are, we are underway. You can see there's exactly what happened to Federico Al Rafai. He just didn't get away, came in behind Oscar Wurtz, trying to block off Solomon Zanfari, who had a fantastic launch to get up into second position as Oscar flowed into first, down through into the chicane. 1B there, going across right there, down the, what would you call that, Luca? The second straight? There's 3 fantastically long straights here at this circuit. As you can see, the the blue car of Krill and the number 10 car of, sorry, that's Sagar, of course, in the 5, driving for Kuwait, fighting down into turn 2. Sagar had a nice line through here, made the chance, but didn't manage to get through. 49 there, that's Andrei Petrovic fighting alongside 88, which is Amna Al-Kabasi in the purple car driving for Qatar, down through. This is 6 and 7. Coming around now through with the number 10 car on screen. For number 10, of course, Federico Al-Rafai driving for UAE. Lost position down into third place at the start of the race as we come down through 7 now. And there you can see exactly what happened. Looks like the red car of Juancho Brobio collided with the green car of Abdulaziz Abu Zanada, which put him into the runoff at turn 6. And everybody else continued, of course, and very quickly race control safety car'd the race in order to recover the vehicle. And then obviously after that they realized they needed more than just a safety car to get everything out of the way and back and recovered safely, and then they red flagged us. Coming now back to the race, we've got once again the grandstand here. You can see our cars there, ladies and gentlemen. That's just outside of our pit garages, pits 6 to 12. If anybody wants to come down and visit us, you're more than welcome to. You can look for me in garage 7. Just don't do it around lunchtime. Now, hopefully, we'll be back on track very, very soon. It seems to me that the truck is no longer on track. I've seen the green car being pulled back behind the barrier in an earlier shot. Hopefully the fluid or whichever liquid was leaking onto the ground at turn 7 has been cleaned up. You could see the marshals working diligently to do that some time ago, and we should be able to go racing very soon. Of course, we can't go racing immediately after they've cleaned up the incident. Race control needs to give us a bit of a countdown so that we can get the cars ready and get going again. But it looks to me like they've just done that, because the red light has been extinguished from the timing screens, and it seems, or actually it may be the case that the race has now been finished because we've run out of time. I do see the finish result up here on the grid. We may have run out of time. We may not be able to start again. I've seen exactly what they've done. They've had to reset the system, so we're going to restart completely now, it seems. Well, that's really the best possible outcome. Start again from the beginning, another 10 laps. Not bad. Maybe we should do this every race.
They, in this case, they basically had to reboot the system in order to start again. We have the opportunity to give these 3 laps back because we had 3 laps behind the safety car. Mm-hmm. And as you know, we have the opportunity to give 3 extra laps to the drivers in order to complete the mileage. This is for 2 reasons. One is because we try and give them as much as running time as possible. And secondly, because all the cars being equal, they start on the same amount of fuel. We know exactly how much fuel they carry, and we know exactly what is the maximum mileage they can do. So our engineers, they have a calculation for everybody to have more than enough fuel to do the distance. And also because when you are behind the safety car, you burn less fuel compared to when you are pushing 100%. You're just not staying flat out all the time. So actually, by the time you do 3 laps behind the safety car, it's like burning the fuel of 1 full lap pushing super hard. So in this case, we have all the fuel we need to complete the total 10 laps of the race. And this is why also the race director felt we should start from the very original starting position.
That makes sense. And hopefully we can get going as soon as possible. I've had a little bird in my ear saying 15 minutes, so that may be a good indication of when we'll be able to start again, but that's not confirmed from race control. Hopefully we'll get a notice on the board as soon as possible. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, Luca and I will try to entertain you, or at least I will. I'm not sure about Luca. So Luca, well, since we've got nothing better to talk about, how did you end up in karting? And did you do karting, or did you go straight into single-seaters?
Yeah, like most of us, I had a long karting career, even if I failed in winning a title. I have been third in Italian Championship. I have raced in a World Championship and European Championship, but I have moved to single-seaters quite early, or at least it was at my age, because I was more or less 16 when I stopped karting, and at that time it was, let's say, early. You know, nowadays feels like late.
14, 15 is really the norm.
Exactly.
You start testing F4 when you're 14 years old, you start racing when you're 15 years old, and from there you try to make your way up to F1, don't you?
Yeah, also because F4, it has been introduced recently, and is a car that is conceived and designed for young drivers coming from karting. So it has a little bit of aerodynamic, but not too sophisticated, on purpose in order to teach you a bit of what the aerodynamic works. But also the car is still quite mechanical, and also the way they decided to have the rear differential. The rear differential is an open differential, so it's open diff, and it teaches you how to manage the throttle on power when you exit the corner, because if you don't, then you have this wheel spin that doesn't help the traction of the car. And you know, a few years ago we had different categories, but when I was like younger, we didn't have a Formula 4 that was the ideal concept of starting, you know, coming out of karting and starting to race in cars. So definitely this format is now very popular all around the world, and is the category that is starting the formation of the new generation of drivers.
Yes, indeed, and I think it's doing quite a good job of it. Yes, indeed, I think it's doing quite a good job of it. There's a lot of young drivers coming through us. I mean, you've worked with Hadrian; he's doing a fantastic job. But it's not just about driving. I mean, you yourself are a perfect example, Luke. I mean, you moved on to a driver coach, you moved on to a commentator, and you know, there's really a huge array of career opportunities in motorsport, even if it's not exactly the dream, but it is a fantastic lifestyle, and it's being part of the entire industry, the entire business. And to that point, I've just heard in my ear from race control that it seems that we're going to be on the way at 16:18. I believe that means pit exit open at 16:18 and then closed at 16:20, so we can get away as soon as possible. Just as a rough estimate, that would mean we should be starting the actual race at 16:25. And hopefully we'll be racing as soon as possible. You can see everybody seems to be getting ready to go as we're speaking about it, and of course team down there taking care of everything. We've got a very experienced team down there, Luca. Of course, all of the mechanics are number one mechanics, and we've been working with them for a very long time. In fact, I'm a bit embarrassed to mention this, but some of them used to carry me when I was a child 20 years ago.
Yeah,
he still looks the same, you know. He hasn't aged yet.
Yeah, you know what? It's, motorsport on one side is a small world, because you keep seeing the same people. Sometimes then maybe you don't see them for a while, and then you see them again. And but it gives you a wide range of opportunities, if not racing itself, but it can be for anything that is related to motorsport, like part of a team, part of race direction, part of an organization, or all the business that is related to motorsport. And we have a great example at any levels, not only in Formula 1, that most of the most famous commentators are former Formula 1 driver, or the stewards, or team principal, but also in all the other categories. Some of my old fellows, they are doing now different categories, has if not coaches, is maybe team owners, team principal,
Test drivers.
Yeah, like my main job is still doing the test drivers, so you can have different opportunities depending on your interest. And you know, from this point of view, I have to say that motorsport is a wide range, but especially if you start in single-seater and stick to circuit racing, is what is giving you actually the widest range of opportunity. Because from single-seaters, when you are very young, you can then decide what to move next. You can stay in single seaters, you can move to GT, you can move to endurance races, sprint races, even rally racing or rally raid, or you have a very wide open range. And when you learn how to drive a Formula 4 car, like a single seater, actually it is the ABC of becoming like a professional driver.
It's the most fundamental part of it. You need to learn what 1 + 1 = 2 before you learn what x² + 5 = 2.
Exactly, and definitely you have to learn it, to try and to experience it. And sometimes you know the theory, but then you also have to experience how in reality it is going.
So a new message from race control now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to count the positions just before the red flag. So we will restart as the positions at the start of lap 2. So that means that Oscar Wirtz is going to maintain his first place position, and Salomon Zanfari is going to be second position, and Federico Alrafai is going to be third. So for those joining us from Kuwait, we're going to see a fight now between the two blue cars of Sagar and Kirill coming down into turn 2, I believe. Turn 1 or turn 2, Luca? Where are we going to see action?
We will try and see very shortly. I believe that in turn 1 we potentially have some action if Oscar, that is gonna be the leader, might not have enough gap to P2, and from my point of view, then resuming the race behind the safety car is the correct thing, and
well, there's the 3-minute board as well, so we're about to resume the race. The information now from race control is that we will resume behind safety car, same as safety car restart procedure. Race distance will be 8 laps, no overtaking allowed until passing the green flag waved at the finish line, same as any other safety car restart. We're going to go green at the end of pit lane, I believe, at 16:18, that's 4:18 local time. Of course, that gives us 2 minutes now. We just saw the 3-minute flag, so that gives us 2 minutes now until the start of the race. Everybody's going to get lined up as quickly as possible. Luckily, our drivers are as fast as it's possible to be, and our mechanics are even better sometimes. So, Luca, safety car restart. What do we have to think about here now? So we've got Oscar Wirtz starting in P1, and Salomon Zanfari starting in P2, and Federico Alrafai starting in P3. So how is Federico going to undertake both drivers into turn 1 to regain his pole position and the lead of the race?
Yeah, so you know, when you are sitting in the car and you are basically you are alone, because you know you have your engineer and mechanic that are talking to you, but because you are still in a red flag situation, you stay in the car and you just have to wait, but you have your pressure on the shoulder going up and down. And in this case, Federico had a bit of a roller coaster because he was in pole position, then he had a not so good start, then he fell to P3, then he had some hopes to start again first, but now he's not. And so definitely he will try and get a position back. He has been really quick in qualifying, so he's driving well. He have raced this place once before, so he's definitely one of the guys that is gonna try and win the race.
Definitely, and well, Oscar Wirtz and Salomon Zanfari may have something to say about that. I believe that's the 1-minute board being displayed there, and it is indeed. So we're going to have engines on. Engines are actually already on, and the cars are about ready to go. Rolling start behind the safety car, ladies and gentlemen, as we've already said, and the safety car is just about to take us away. That's going to be the 30-second board up any moment now, and very, very, very soon we'll be leaving the pit lane and we'll get back underway just under 3 minutes after that as they start as they cross the start-finish straight. 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Luca, Felipe, what do they have to do to warm up the tires properly? Tires, once again, the ever-ending question, never-ending question, I should say. What do they have to do to warm up their tires now that they've been sitting there for what, 20 minutes in the pit lane?
Yeah, so it's not a super easy task, but now they are trained very well. So what they do is they just let the safety car go, and First thing is properly start without stalling the car, because you know most of these guys, they have no experience in using a clutch at all. So first thing, focus, don't lose the position, stay in your place, and once you are behind the safety car, like he's doing, Oscar now is doing a bit of a gap, so you can accelerate and brake and use these longitudinal forces to warm up the car. So you are trying to accelerate and brake and warm up the tires, warm up the brakes getting hot, and the heat gets into the rim, and the rim is getting the tire hotter. So it's all a circle, it's all one thing goes into the other one. So warming up the brakes is also helping the temperature of the tire. The temperature of the tire is also raising up the pressure. So it's all coming together. And you have to do it, in this case, as quick as possible, if we will just have one lap behind the safety car, you know. The hotter at the beginning of the race the tires are, the better.
So does that mean, Luca, that longitudinal braking is better in this scenario for warming up the tires? Or you know how you see everybody weaving left to right, is that not as efficient as braking?
So it is not efficient in the very first phase of the warming up. So to make a long story short, the waving warm up the surface of the tire, no, the tread. But the braking, it warm up also the air which is inside the tire, which is what you need right now. And so you try and accelerate and brake as much as possible, so you generate as much as heat you can, and then you can do a bit of waving. One thing of the waving is that when you do it, your tires are warm, and then you pick up also the marbles outside. And sometimes when we are in Middle East, you may have also a little bit of dust outside, you know, the racing line. So you can do a bit of waving, but not try to leave too much, you know, the ideal racing line.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Luca Filippi, and I hope if you're on the grid at the moment, I hope you were listening so you know exactly what you're doing. Coming around now, turn 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. What a fantastic series of corners these are. I mean, it's really beautiful. And then you swap back onto turn 17 and 19, so if you've lost that advantage through the right-handers, you've got a chance to try and undercut back through 18 and 19 as well. I mean, what's your favorite corner of the track, Luca? Do you have one?
You know what, it is really difficult to say, but if I have to pick one, definitely the 3 and 4 are very interesting, because you have a crest over the top that you just see the sky at a certain point, but then you have to turn, go down, and then you have a compression and up again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the safety car lights extinguished, and the safety car has left the grid under the control of Oscar Wirtz, who seems to have already put down the throttle, if I'm not mistaken, coming down the back straight now into the final corner, corner 20 here at Kuwait Motor Town, for the restart of the first race of the season. Huge lock-up from the white number 11 car, and Solomon Zanfari is not going to let him get away with that, and he doesn't. Can Krill get past as well? The white car of Oscar Wirtz has definitely lost momentum. Krill might be able to slipstream in, and indeed he looks exactly like he's going to do that. Can he have space? He doesn't have space. Federico Alrafai is in his face, and it looks to me, ladies and gentlemen, like Oscar Wirtz has managed to save his race and keep himself in front of Federico Alrafai, although Alrafai is now trying to undercut on the outs. Well, it would be overcut on the outside of 1B. Does he make the move, ladies and gentlemen? It's the number 11 car of Oscar Wirtz who is victorious through the chicane. Coming down into turn 2 now, though, there's another opportunity, and Hamda Al-Kabaisi in the number 8 car, the purple car at the back of the screens, is looking for an overtake opportunity on the car in front of her, but it is the battle for second position at the moment that is the most interesting. Federico Alrafai, driving for the UAE in the white number 10 car, is fighting tooth and nail with Oscar Wirtz, the Austrian who dominated Bahrain a few weeks ago. But the interesting fight, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment now is the purple and the light blue. The purple car, the number 8 car, the Hamda Al-Kabaisi car driving for UAE as they come down through turn 6. Now you can see just on the crest of turn 7, the 2 white cars, the teammates fighting. It looks like a move from Federico Alrafai is just denied by Oscar Wirtz, who closes the door completely on him as we come down now into the fast switchback sections of the track. That's turn 8, 9, 10, 11 before we see another overtaking opportunity. Look, and there's contact between the teammates. Who's off? Is that the number 10 or is that the number 11? That's a big crash, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be some damage there. That's the number 11 car, the white car of Oscar Wirtz. It was a fantastic start to the race from ladies and gentlemen. He took first position. He managed to get it again at the restart, and now that's the end of his race. And well, what can I say? That's racing, Luca. I mean, I feel for Oscar. He must be beating himself up right now, and to be taken out by your teammate, it's even worse. But what can you do?
I mean, it was
well,
really
let's have a look and see
situation.
exactly what it is. We have a quick replay now and see exactly what happened. Coming up through, we can see Solomon out in front. The two teammates challenging each other, and just a touch is all it takes sometimes.
You know, Oscar was in front. He comes out from the corner. Federico had more momentum. Oscar was to the left, and he have seen the mirror that Federico was coming. So while Oscar was moving to the right, Federico moved slightly to the left. So it was a very slight touch in between the rear crash. The rear crash
box and the front crash box,
where you have the rear
cars.
light and the front nose cone. That, you know, they are both of them the edge of the car, and when these two edges they just collide in the wrong angle, he just lost the control. So for sure it's not an intentional tap from Federico. It was more like one car moving to one side while the other one was moving the other side. But just the little tap from the nose cone to the rear crash box, it made this rotation from Oscar's car. And such a shame to lose another car again. He had a little bit of a hit on the barrier, not like a strong one, so I'm sure they will be able to repair the car. But you know, such of a shame to lose one of the contenders at the beginning of the race.
Well, I think it's going to be a long night for everyone tonight, but that's what we're here for. We don't leave until everything's ready to go. And, of course, we've got the dyno as well now, Luca, down in Garage 7. In the front of the garage shakes your bones for you if you want to feel what that feels like. And we've got at least two cars going to be on it tonight to make sure everything's good to go tomorrow morning for race 2, which will start at 9:30 tomorrow morning. The pit lane is open at 9:22 for anybody who wants to chime in. Luca and I will be here as always, and Hamid El Fadin over on the Arabic language commentary will be there as well, so everybody's welcome, and I hope everybody enjoys the broadcast. Now I wonder what this is going to mean for the race duration, Luca, because we have the regulation to give back laps for exactly this scenario, so that all the drivers get as much lap time as possible, because that's what's important here for these young drivers. But we have definitely already over-exceeded our allotted time frame, and we're coming up on 4:30, and I believe this circuit has to stop at 5 because it starts to get dark here around that time. There are lights, of course, but I don't know if we'll be able to continue past 5 o'clock. So I wonder exactly what is going to happen here at the restart. It looks like the marshals are just behind the white car of Oscar Wirtz, just behind the Aramco. I can see their lights flashing there. I'm sure any moment they'll start to recover him. In fact, indeed, the pickup truck is on track now. With any luck, we'll have Oscar back behind the barriers as soon as possible. I'm sure the driver is absolutely fine. In fact, I can see a little bit of movement, and while I'm sure it's not his best day, I'm absolutely confident he'll be good to go again tomorrow morning. Of course, these cars built with safety in mind. In fact, they are built to the F1 safety standard, just a couple of years behind them. And of course, considering that we are a lower horsepower, taking that into consideration and building the safest car possible. In fact, Luca, what is the difference in horsepower between F4 and F1?
So of course, you know, the F4 is meant to be the entry level of single seater, so it has a little bit below 200 horsepower, and but the car it's a light car because it weighs more or less 500 kilos. So
with the driver,
it's also very agile. So changing direction is a car that it's very fun to drive as well. Mm-hmm. So now the truck, the recovery truck is there. Oscar is already behind the barrier, definitely he will be upset, like you say. His race was looking great. Unfortunately, he had made a mistake on the last braking before the restart. That he locked the front. He locked the front, and he went off the line. And then there was a bit of a situation where, in theory, Zamfari in second was not allowed to overtake him, because, you know, by regulation you can overtake after the start line. This is the regulation. But Wurz left the truck with 4 wheels. So this is another thing the guys are going to review. So in theory, Zamfari, in theory, even if Oscar had a mistake, shouldn't be allowed to overtake. But because Oscar went off track, then I believe Zamfari was entitled to do it. We are really talking about a very weird situation, because the lead driver going off the track before the beginning of the restart of the race is very unusual. But normally, if you take just the safety car procedure, you are allowed to overtake a car only if the car slow down in a in a manner that you cannot overtake. Otherwise, you are entitled if the car in front leaves the track. So if Wurz have managed to keep the car on track, then it wouldn't be entitled to keep the lead. But
well, let's see exactly what happened. Here we are once again at the instant, coming down into turn to 9 and 10, and we can see the two teammates there, and you can see it's just a touch between the two, and well, it was quite a significant touch, but Oscar went off track. And talking about penalties with Solomon Zanfari, does Federico Alrifai have to worry about a penalty coming up here?
Yeah, in this case, this is the other scenario. So this was the scenario of the touch between the two. And in that scenario, potentially Alrifai, I don't know, he will go to race control. It was very unfortunate. What I was talking about before, it was more the situation where before the safety car restart, Oscar was in front and he locked the front tire and he went straight. Yeah, so this is something we will review later.
So are we back on track now? Yes, indeed we are, and it seems like Solomon Zanfari is leading us down into turn 20. Good line through here for Oscar, right out onto the curb, taking the maximum amount of space that is available to him as he comes across the start-finish line. I'll read you through the order just quickly because we've had a lot of changes. Solomon Zanfari is in P1, Federico Alrifai in P2, Sagar Almasurge in P3, Hamza Al-Khabaisi in P4, and Kuskov Krill in P5, rounding out the top 5. As we come down into the chicane now of 1A and 1B, we can see a fight between the orange, red, and blue cars of 55, Laura Villas 9, Abdullah Al-Khabaisi, and looks like we've had a brief moment there, but we're back on track now with the car number 52, the orange car of Solomon Zanfari, coming down into turn 2. Beautiful left-hander up the hill. As Luca says, you crest the hill, you can't see much at all as you come down into 3 and 4, and then the 3, 4, 5, and then the sweeping left-hander of turn 6. You can see Solomon has gotten a good start and gotten away, but he's definitely not won the race yet, and right behind him is the white car of Federico Alrifai. Good first sector for Solomon Zanfari, 33.970. Behind him, Federico Alrifai did a 34.117. So Solomon's got a good start, and you can see that reflected on track with a good lead between the two drivers as they come down now into turn 10 and 11 before the beautiful right-handed section of turn 12, 13, 14, and 15 before we switch back to the last few corners of the track. Coming on screen now, you can see the silver car of Faisal Al-Kabani driving for Saudi Arabia, coming around that section of the corner, that section of the track that we're talking about. Not a lot of action on track at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but we've seen already that there will be again very, very soon. The red car of 49, I believe, Andrei Petrovic, following closely behind the car in front of him as we come down through the final sector of the track, down the back straight. Now we can see if there's going to be any action at turn 20, and there looks like Frederico Alvarez is just a little bit too far away, but I hear a lot of tire squealing on the audio feed, and it may be that Solomon is overdriving just a little bit, but I hope I'm not giving him the commentator's cuss, because I wish him all the best. As he comes past the start-finish line, he does a 2:01.906. The car behind him, Frederico Alvarez, a 2:01.936. They're separated by 3/100ths of a second, ladies and gentlemen, on that lap. As they come through the corkscrew now, 1A and 1B, no issues. As we come down the second straight of the track into turn 2, you can see it looks like Frederico Alvarez is a little bit closer. That's the white car on screen in second position, and he may try to make a move, but to me he's just a little bit too far back, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have to bide his time and look for a good overtaking opportunity. Luca, where's the best place to overtake on track?
The best place for me is the last corner. If you can stay very close into 18, 19, which are the two left-hander very fast before the last corner, and you have to stay very close, then hope for a little mistake of the guy in front of you in 19, and then you have to try brake late in the last corner. It's not easy, because at the moment Zanfar is pushing really hard, and they are doing best sectors. These lap times are more or less as fast as the qualifying lap time, so it means that they are pushing really hard. So even if you are 2-3 tenths faster than him, not necessarily you can overtake.
You're right indeed, and we've heard before in F1 them talking about the gap, the time difference between the two drivers you need to overtake, but these cars are so closely matched, Luca, it can't be the same kind of thing. They have to have an equal footing, and of course the cars are all set up identically as well. As we come down now, once again, the back straight, ladies and gentlemen, and Luca assures us this is the place to do any move that you want to take. And is Frederico Alvarez close enough to make a move? Maybe not quite, coming down into turn 20, but perhaps on the main straight he can pull something down through. Not quite, ladies and gentlemen. He's a little bit too far back, and I'm sure he's just biding his time now and hoping to get his tires back up to temperature, get everything running smoothly, and look for a move as soon as he can. Solomon Zanfari, though, has led a fantastic race, ladies and gentlemen, in the orange number 52 car, driving for Morocco, of course. Second event, well, first event in Formula for Saudi Arabia, second event in these cars with us, of course, considering we did the Bahrain trophy flag just recently. Car number 10, ladies and gentlemen, may have just received a penalty, I hear in my ear. We'll see very soon when it's reflected on the start on the timing board. Car number 10, that would be Frederico Alvarez. He may have an incident, he may have a penalty involving the incident with his teammate, or there may be some other issue going on. He does seem to be very squirrely coming down through turn 3, 4 and 5. Luca, what do you think of the line he's taking there?
So in turn 3, 4, you have to try and cut on the curb as much as possible without making track limits, of course. And then in the long turn 6, we have seen people staying more to the inside, people more in the middle of the corner. For sure, you don't want to go all the way to the outside, because there are marbles, there is dirt, and potentially you can get your tire dirty. And also, if you start going too wide, you might have some graining on the outside tire. So in this case, we have to see also what will happen. So if Federico Alvarez has a black flag, it means he has to come back to the pits within a couple of laps. So you will see probably the flag this time by. I'm sure he hasn't seen it yet. So definitely a lot going on in this race since the begin. We have lost Oscar Wurz, who had an amazing start, standing start, but then unfortunately after the mistake at the restart he lost the lead, and then after the contact he's out of the race.
Yes, indeed, unfortunate for him, but it is what it is. It is racing. and we have Solomon Zanfari leading us around once again. Now we have 3 laps remaining, 13 minutes or 14 minutes left on the clock. Solomon still in the orange number 52 car at the front of the grid. Federico Al Rafai in P2, Sagar Al-Mashaj in P3. Looks like we may have missed something because Sagar is now up into P3. Hopefully we get a replay of that. Hamda Al-Kabesi in P4 and Christoph Grill in P5. Coming down now into turn 3, 4 and 5. Once again, Luca, can you talk us through how do you brake through this section of the corner? Or is it braking? Is it full out? Or are you just lifting off the throttle?
So between turn 3 and turn 4, you arrive in turn 3, and then you have a very small tap on the brake right before you turn into 4, and then you are back on power. And between 5 and 6, which is this very long left-hander that we have seen, which is more than 190 degrees, then you stay in qualifying flat out. During the race, you stay almost flat out, or you have a very, very small lift. And it's a very tricky place. While this is the corner that takes you from 12 to 15, and that's a corner where you just have a little bit of a lift on the 12, which is the entry of this long corner, and then a little break before the exit.
And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I have some bad news for our UAE fans. Federico Al Rafai in the white number 10 car has been given the black flag for causing a collision, and he will have to come in, which promotes Sagar, the Kuwaiti driver, in the blue number 5 car up into position 2. And will that give to hunt down the orange number 52 of the Moroccan driver Solomon Zanfari? Sagar at the moment lapping at 2:02.176 and Solomon at 2:01.714, but we have seen Sagar can pull out some amazing lap times at the last minute, as he did in qualifying. He's incredibly calm under pressure. We saw that he was disadvantaged by the 2 red flags in qualifying, and he didn't get a chance to practice his start. He didn't get a chance to do it the day before, and now, ladies and gentlemen, in qualifying in the last session, he managed to pull everything together and make it happen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's right up behind Federico Al Rafai coming down into corner 2.
Yeah, he's super quick, and we already know that with the black flag to Federico, it means he's promoting Saker to P2, but Saker is also super quick. Like he has been lapping at 2:02.1 in the last lap, and has been catching Federico, and he is super quick. His driving skills are amazing for the very little experience that he has, and he's improving lap by lap. He has a very natural instinct in his racing, but he also has the ability to improve himself session by session. And again, like we have seen, very competitive in Bahrain. Finally, new place, new circuit, but still he can be one of the fastest of the series.
Exactly, and that's exactly the purpose of Formula 4, to bring up these young karters, even if you don't have any go-kart experience, if you've always dreamed of Formula 1 or of any motorsport, guys, come on down, get in the car, get on track and see what you can do. And that's exactly what you need to do, and it's the only way to do it. The only way to learn is by doing, and we're seeing exactly that, because Solomon Zanfari is showing us exactly what's happening as he crosses the line now with a 2:02.299, taking it a bit easy this lap, backing off a bit. Of course, that's exactly what he should be doing. Number 10, the number 10 white car of Federico Al Rafai, unfortunately seems to have not seen the black and white flag being waved for him, so Sagar Al-Mashaj is still behind him on track, which I'm sure will cause some issues for the UAE driver after the race. But we wish him the best. We know it wasn't his intention or anything like that. He's just under a lot of pressure, as everybody on the track is. And you can see that that's not deterring Sagar Al-Mashaj, who is right up behind on the crash box of Federico Al Rafai. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to see something very special happen here on what is the second last lap of our inaugural race in the inaugural season of the Formula 4 Saudi. Coming down through the second corkscrew now, turn 3, 4, 5. where is Sagar Al-Mashaj going to make a move? He definitely seems to have the pace. In the last lap, he did a 2:02.664, which is almost half a second faster than Federico Al-Rafai in front of him. In this first sector, he did a 33.850, 1/10 of a second faster than the man in front of him. Where's the place to make a move? He's catching. Is there any chance through turn 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16? Maybe not, as the young UAE driver in front of him, Federico Al-Rafai, has a talent at the wheel, and I believe he's already been to this track last year as well. The number 5 car of Sagar Al-Mashaj is coming around now, biding his time. I think he's going to do exactly what you told him to do, Luca. I think he's going to wait until the last corner on the last lap of the first race of the season as we come down now through turn 17, 18, beautiful left-handers into the back main straight, well, the back straight, I should say. It's a beautiful long straight, looks to be something about a kilometer or maybe just underneath. I can see them in real life now, ladies and gentlemen. The white and blue cars just in front of me as we come down now into the final corner of the circuit. The blue car tries to make a move, looks to have dived in a lot later on the braking, seems to have tried to do something but just can't make enough of it happen. So that is third place. Third place for Sagar Al-Mashaj is not bad at all, and that means he will be promoted into second position, and Hamza Al-Khabaisi will be third overall in this the first race of the season, Luca.
So yeah, I mean, Zamfari won, and he had a very, very strong pace through the whole race, while definitely we have to see what the stewards has to say after the accident between Federico and the other white car of Oscar. It was really unfortunate. I don't think it was at all deliberate, because, you know, it was, as I said before, the nose cone of Federico just tapping the rear crash box of Oscar, while the car were moving one way to the other, exiting that fast section. Also because, you know, it's flat out, but it's not a real straight line. So the cars, they still have to move behind the A line, so try also to get a slipstream to each other. So definitely you have to try and get a little bit of extra margin to yourself, not to tap and knock the guy in front, but I'm sure, you know, it wasn't like a deliberate touch.
I'm sure you're right, Luca. Unfortunately, I got to leave you now to go down and do the podium. So if you can take over things here, and very soon we'll have the interviews for you with Marcello Puglisi at the Parc Fermé, and just after that, I'll join you again for the podium. See you soon, guys.
So, Sulman Zamfari will be a really happy man. Definitely, first win of the season is always good and positive to start on the right foot, let me say. And he did, you know, he won. Starting from P3, it wasn't looking so easy, but he managed to have a clean race and make the most out of other people's mistakes. Definitely what is hurt at the beginning, the chances of win of Oscar Wurz, has been the big lockup he had, the mistake before the restart, and then he was out of the line, and while he was out of the line, Zamfari took the lead, and that was it. So to make also this situation clear, Zamfari took the lead before the start-finish line, but with Oscar Wurz being outside the track, that we will wait for the confirmation of race control, but I believe that it was a maneuver that was entitled to be fair. So here we see Zamfari celebrating, really happy with his mechanic, while we have seen on the right hand side Federico explaining what happened with his teammate Oscar, and he was explaining that it was a touch, that for sure, you know, he didn't do it on purpose, which I definitely believe. It was really unfortunate. You know, we were hoping to start with an exciting race, and it was exciting. We're hoping for maybe to have everybody to finish. This was not the case, but yeah, tomorrow is another day, and will definitely get everybody back on track, and will make sure that Oscar's car and also Abdulaziz's car will be ready to start again. Very happy Suleiman Zamfari with his engineer, with some of the friends, and yeah, we have a very big group of people here in Kuwait with us, all the engineers, the trainers, the physios, and drivers coaching, and definitely big group of people here in Kuwait, trying to work our best and to give these guys the best opportunity they can to learn, to experience, to do these races while they gain new experience, and obviously they fight for podiums and they fight for victories. At the end of the day, all these guys, they are fired up and they want to win the race. And again, this is the standing of today, with Suleiman Zamfari winning the race, and Saker Al-Mosherji in P2. Great talent from Saker, really fast guy. Amda Al-Kubaisi, she was really fast in qualifying. Her best lap was taken away for track limits, and she had a very strong race, and she finished on the podium in the very first race of the season.
Now you arrive in third position after just 1 day of testing, so a really solid and good race. I saw your pace was really good at the end. Didn't you have that moment where you could overtake for P2?
I think we were quite far. I made a few mistakes after the safety car restart, and they got away, so I wasn't in the slipstream anymore, and so it was more like just a duck. I couldn't catch him, but anyways, it's still a good result. I'm happy about it. 1 day of testing and straight away a podium. I'm really happy about it, and looking forward to the next day.
Thank you very much, Hamda. So let's go straight to Saker.
So yeah, we heard from Amda, and definitely first podium for her in the first race.
Okay, so Saker,
now Saker.
We are here for a solid race. So I don't know if you saw the black flag for the second driver that was in front of you. So you were holding your position. Really solid race. Are you happy about it?
I mean, I'm happy about it, but of course I wanted to win. But the race was clean and I was driving alone the whole time.
Okay, thank you very much, Saker.
Thank you.
Suleiman Zamfari, winner of the race, here with us. Really, really good job, Suleiman. So can you explain us a little bit that overtake right at the end of the safety car lap?
Well, I mean, that overtake was unexpected. He just made the mistake, so this was it. Then I just kept my head down, kept pushing, no mistake. I was on tiger mode. I didn't give up, but I'm very happy to stand on the top step of the podium, and I would like to thank everybody that has worked with me those years, and also here, especially my family, for their support, and everybody for the hard that is now really paying off. And for tomorrow, I'm very confident that in race 4 we can grab another win, and then just keep consistent, and it will make things happen.
Thank you very much, Suleiman, and congratulations again for this wonderful result.
So, happy man Suleiman Zamfari, and we have heard from the top 3 of today: Suleiman Zamfari, Saker Al-Mosherji, and Amda Al-Kubaisi. And yeah, here we have the whole standing with Kirill Kutskov, OK karting world champion in P4. Also really strong race for him. And Petrovic Andrei, another karting world championship from the Rotax class. And then P6 from Omar Alderayan. Omar, yeah, it has been really quick also. And Omar, watch him out, he will be the underdog for race 2 and 3, I believe. Then Amna Al-Kubaisi coming up through the field. And P8 with Faisal Al-Kabani. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a slow start today. and P9 for Jabor Altani. While in P10 we have Juancho Robio from Philippines, and he also is a rookie, so good that he could experience the race today. We have seen he had a bit of a contact with Abdullah Al-Kubaisi, which is P12, and Laura Villars, which is in P11. So we watch the highlights of the race. It was a very eventful race, many things going on today, really starting from the beginning of the race, where like we have seen before, we had one standing start with Oscar Wurz really on his toes at the beginning, getting the lead, while Federico Rifai, unfortunately, he has lost the lead of the race after a slow start. After that, we had first safety car and then a red flag intervention, and after the break we resume like we were before the safety car. And when we had the restart, as you see, Oscar Wurz was outside the track, and so this has led with Zanfari being in the lead, but then Oscar Wurz had an accident and a contact with his teammate Federico Rifai. Federico was disqualified for this contact, and this promoted a great job from Sakera Mosherji, which finished in P2. And definitely a bit of race control work tonight for the contact between Oscar and Federico. It was really unfortunate. Here we see the charge from Sakera Mosherji trying to overtake Federico Rifai. Of course, Sakera didn't know Federico was disqualified, and Suleiman Zanfari getting the check red flag for the first win of the season. So it was an eventful first race of the weekend for the Formula 4 Saudi Arabia Championship certified by FIA. And follow us tomorrow, and we will give you all the information and about today as well, what happened. And tomorrow is another day for race 2, 3 and 4. Thank you very much. Talk to you tomorrow.